You think, oh, I got it.
What?
You push the play button and that records.
Oh, play usually works, yeah.
Yeah.
So is it going?
Yeah. So my question that I want to structure as best as I can is related to the pro-unions and what you think the pro-unions are.
So unions were created for a just and needed cause, like way back when in the I guess the 1800s, when there was like a lot of dangerous work and the workers weren't protected, and owners had all the power, and they could make them work in any conditions for any pay. And so,
like indentured servitude, or
no, but like they just had, without the unions as a group to negotiate, they couldn't negotiate the terms, and so
is that like a monopoly?
They would work in like very dangerous conditions for no pay, and so and this it's more important like for like the coal mines and like the old like construction and steel mills back in the day, where like a lot of people died. I mean, it's not like now where like it was so, to get a decent paying job, people would risk their life. And the owners knew it, and they would put them in conditions that were not safe and that shouldn't be. So unions slowly, and it was hard, they came about, and they made things better on that front. And so they were very necessary and productive things for many years. But now, fast forward, where we are, and actually where we've been the last 40 years, there really isn't a need for union, except what it does is extract more money and benefits.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yeah.
In studying history, is it important to have an eye for the detail?
Yes.
Okay, so then one detail I want to ask is, how did they help when they came in? Like you said, people were able to, they needed jobs and they would do anything, they would risk their lives for the jobs, and then the owners would take advantage of that.
Right. So then, like, okay, let's say it's this big coal mine, right? So 5,000 people working there. If any one guy went up and said, this is too dangerous, we shouldn't be working in this condition, they would just say, you're fired, get out of here.
Oh,
and the next guy would go.
Okay.
If the group of 5,000 go up and say, we cannot work under this condition because people are falling off and dying, we will have a work stoppage if you don't make a better condition, then they can't fire, I mean, they could fire all 5,000, but then their work stops, their profit stops. They can't replace 5,000 anytime soon. So it's about leverage.
Wow.
Okay, where back then the little man was getting picked on, and they needed the leverage of the union to get better working terms, because it was like really dangerous conditions besides low pay. So it was a just and necessary cause, and it was for many years. But what it is now is something very different, where they have even more leverage, but there's no jobs where people are dying, where it's so dangerous, or where they're forced to work.
Oh, I see what you mean. There's
like,
no struggle for survival that they're fighting anymore.
But
there's more comfortable in their jobs now. So.
Well, that's it. Like the biggest unions are like now the government unions.
Oh, really?
So like the teachers union is a huge union. The police, firemen union. So the teacher union, they get they're all in the union. They all vote the same way. They all vote Democrat, and so the Democrats will do everything for the union, but so they get more pay and benefit because they know their vote will put anyone in power, because the teacher union is so big. Like, so in California, unions pretty much run the state. So in order to get elected in California, you have to be pro-union, and that's the Democrats. But to get the union vote, you have to pander to them, and you have to give them more salary and benefits that they would get in the private industry. So if you look at, like, for government or like union jobs compared to like non-union jobs doing the exact same thing. The union job gets like 25% more money.
Wow.
And like a lot more benefits. They're not working any harder or any more hours. It's that they're extracting the political.
So what used to be something to help them with their necessities as a human being is now just exploited as the luxury, prestigious form of
exploited. So they're getting better benefits. They're able to retire earlier on a higher pension and get a higher salary than a non-union employee would get.
Do you feel like there's an element of like, for example, risking your life in like fireman, police officer?
No, I mean they are in those, but. It's a necessary risk of life. It's not like a coal mine in the 1850s where like they didn't spend the money on safety precautions because they didn't care about the worker.
You're
like,
right.
There's always going to be a risk being a fireman or policeman. You can't do anything about it. It's an inherent risk of life. But there was risk back then where that could have been prevented. But the owners cared more about their profit than the health of their employee, and they didn't do anything about it. It's a big difference between the two. And as far as the teacher, I mean, obviously an important job, but the unions, that's just been something where it's just been a political game. And so, and nowhere more than in California. And so, if you don't pander to the unions, you can't get elected.
Yeah.
So
and who's running the unions?
Well, the union boss is getting paid